If you feel like you're doing everything right, but your life has stopped moving, you aren't crazy. And you aren't lazy. You are currently trapped in a logical loop that I call the glass ceiling of stagnation. You wake up, you do the work, you go to bed, and you repeat it. But the needle isn't moving. Here is the hard truth. If we don't break this loop today, you are going to wake up in 5 years, exactly where you are right now. Only you'll be older, more tired, and the exit door will be harder to open. That is the ghost of stagnation, and it is coming for you. But there is a logic to breaking it. Today, I'm giving you the roadmap out. We are going to cover 3 things to get you unstuck. First, the survival trap. Why your brain is biologically wiretapped to keep you miserable but comfortable. Second, the core concept of this video, local versus global maxima. This is the mathematical proof of why you feel trapped. And third, the strategic pivot. How to escape the trap without blowing up your life. Let's dismantle the cage. We usually assume that if we are unhappy, we should naturally want to change. Logic dictates that if your job is boring or your growth has stalled, you should just move. But your brain isn't a CEO designed for growth. It's a bodyguard designed for survival. Its only job is to make sure you survive until tomorrow. To your brain, the unknown equals death. But stagnation? Stagnation is safe. Stagnation is predictable. This is where the ghost of stagnation gets you. Your brain whispers, just stay here 1 more month. It's not that bad. At least the paycheck clears. At least you know the routine. But that comfort is a lie. It's a comfortable hell. I remember about 4 years ago, I was working on a project that looked great on paper. Good money. Nice title. But every morning, I sat in my car for 10 minutes just staring at the steering wheel, dreading walking through the doors. I wasn't failing. In fact, I was getting promoted. But I felt like I was suffocating. I knew I needed to leave, but I was paralyzed. Because I had reached the limit of what that path could offer, but I was too terrified to lose the status I had built. I was optimizing a life I didn't even want anymore. This brings us to the most important concept you will learn this year. This is the math behind why you can't move. In computer science and mathematics, there is a concept called the local maximum. Imagine a landscape. You have a small hill here on the left. Let's call this hill A. And way over here on the right, you have a massive mountain, Mountain B. When you start your career or a relationship, you are at the bottom. You climb Hill A. You work hard. You get better. You reach the peak of Hill A. This is where you are right now. You are at the local maximum. You look around, and in every direction, the path goes down. If you take a step left, you lose money. If you take a step right, you lose status. This is the trap. You can see the global maximum, that huge Mountain B in the distance. That's the dream life, the new business, the freedom. But, and catch this, because this is why you are stuck. You cannot get to Mountain B without walking downhill first. To grow, you have to regress. To get the better job, you might have to take a pay cut or start as a junior. To fix your relationship, you might have to have the messy, painful fight that threatens to end it. Your brain looks at that valley and says, no way. Your brain prefers to be the king of the small hill rather than a beginner at the bottom of the mountain. This creates the glass ceiling. You keep trying to jump higher on Hill A, but you've already reached the peak. There is no more up. There is only down. And because you refuse to go down, you hover. You wait. And the ghost of stagnation starts writing your obituary. The longer you stay on the local maximum, the scarier the valley looks. You build expenses, obligations, and ego around being on top of this tiny molehill. But deep down, you know the truth. You aren't climbing anymore. You're just maintaining altitude. So, how do we cross the valley without destroying our lives? How do we move from the local maximum to the global maximum without ending up homeless or heartbroken? We don't jump. We pivot. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to burn the boat to build a bridge. That's dramatic, but it's stupid. We are going to use a strategy one call the vine sweep. Step 1 is the simulation. Before you quit the job or end the project, you have to simulate the climb up Mountain B. You spend 5% of your energy testing the new path. You start the side hustle on weekends. You take the night class. You have the difficult conversation in a low-stakes environment. You are lowering yourself into the valley temporarily to map the terrain. Step 2 is the ego death. This is the hardest part. You have to accept that for a short time, you will look like a fool. When you step off the top of hill A, people will ask, why are you doing that? You had it so good. The ghost of stagnation loves the approval of others. It feeds on it. To kill the ghost, you have to be willing to be a beginner again. You have to be willing to suck. But here is the logic. The dip in the valley is temporary. The stagnation on the hill is permanent. Ask yourself, what is the cost of not going through the valley? The cost is that 5 years from now, you are still here, watching this same video, feeling this same itch. That is a price you cannot afford to pay. Feeling stuck is not a failure. It is data. It is your brain's way of telling you that you have conquered your local maximum. You have won that game. Congratulations. But the game is over. And now, you are just replaying the levels you've already beaten. The valley is scary. The drop is terrifying. But the climb on the other side? That is where you find out who you actually are. Don't let the ghost of stagnation keep you on the small hill. Pack your bag, check your ego, and walk into the valley.